Welcome to the 135th edition of Make Pro Wrestling Majestic Again. I am Tigerhite.
And I am Peanut Gallery.
So, we are making some changes.
Yay.
Our first change, our set.
Yes.
So, whole new set. We don't have to move anything or do anything like that. We will be changing it around a little bit more as time goes, but this is sort of where it's going to be for right now.
Okay.
Peanut Gallery. I'm going to get on my soapbox.
Okay, sounds good.
Also, the soapbox will slightly change over the course of the weeks. But let's talk about Raw, because Raw was different in a lot of ways. I didn't get like the ratings or anything for them because I just didn't. They're not really important in this episode. So Raw was right in the middle of that enormous winter storm, and they were in, I believe, Kentucky or Nashville. It was somewhere.
They were in. I think they were in Arkansas.
They were in Arkansas.
So I think the set that they used is one of their house show sets, if I'm not mistaken, because they couldn't get the supplies out to.
Also, I think there were some parts of the state that couldn't even leave,
right?
Because of the storm, because that whole side of the state got hit. Yeah. So. It turned out to be a good show. This was the world title match, Jinder Mahal and Rollins. It was a good match, but Rollins got hurt partway through the match, which is why I think the ratings weren't as high as they should have been. R-Truth continues to be the best thing on the show with this. Akira Tozawa beat Ivar, which is also great because Akira Tozawa is also great. Cody, and it looks like it's going to be Cody and Drew. It looks like there's going to be at least a three-way there with Punk, so that's fine. Other than that, and DIY got a huge reaction on this show, and I have no idea why.
That's weird.
It's good. I'm happy, but at the same time, I was just kind of like, oh, that's kind of strange.
Right.
Let's go into NXT. Obafemi's first segment as speaking. He is awesome. Mm-hmm. He is a great speaker, very articulate.
They're gonna put the rocket ship on that guy.
They better.
Yeah.
Push him to the moon. But Roxanne Perez won the number one contendership. They have been slowly churning her heel.
Okay.
And I am so 100% digging that because that needed to happen a long-ass time ago. So her winning this number one contender battle royal, her going after Lyra, not next week. It might be next week. There's like a big special that they're doing, and that's when it's going to happen. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams continue to have their issues, but they still won their match. Ridge Holland and Joe Coffey had a match, which was okay. And Chase U and LWO had a match. That was fine. Other than that, and Tatum Paxley continues to be hot and creepy at the same time.
Okay.
It's a very strange juxtaposition.
We're just going to roll with it.
So let's talk about Dynamite. So Dynamite did a lot better in numbers. I do remember that. They almost got 900,000.
Yeah, I heard about that
overall. So that was much better than the 797 that they did last week.
Yep.
So that's good. Now, I believe the only reason people were wanting to do this was because of what happened on Twitter with Jinder Hook and all that, because Raw also had a boost in ratings.
Yeah.
Not as dramatic of a boost, but they did have a boost.
Yeah.
The problem here is that they have made Joe the least credible champion after one match.
Yep.
The Muscle Buster, one of the most protected moves in wrestling, was kicked out at a 1 by Hook.
Right.
Now, if it was like Kenny Omega, Roman Reigns, Adam Page, somebody like that, like an actual main eventer, that's fine. Like a big dude.
But not a third tier person who obviously was not going to win. I have no idea. The only reason he did this
because Jinder Mahal ratioed the entire company in Hook.
Right.
So it was just a vanity project. Here's the thing, and I'm not even gonna shit on too much on the match. I did like this match, but Hook is definitely not ready. His selling is not there. He doesn't have that oomph. He needs something else. Right. I don't know what it is. It might be just muscle mass.
Yeah, I think so.
He is very skinny, like really, really skinny. And it's like it should not take Joe this long to beat Hook. Like seriously, it should not take that long to beat Hook. Deonna Purrazzo's debut match was here. Well, she had a match on Collision, but her the only brand that matters here within AEW Dynamite. This was her debut match, and it was fine. they're putting her right in the world title picture. So I'm happy about that. That at the very least, that was a good booking decision overall. Oh, we're going to talk about it later, but Mark Briscoe continues to dig up his brother and rape the body because I'm getting absolutely sick and tired of it. Now,
yeah, so am I.
I get it. Okay, I'm going to, at the very least, give them a credit here.
Yeah.
This was legitimately the 1-year anniversary of the accident.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it somewhat of a pass, but can we please drop talking about Jay every 10 minutes?
At every turn, they're talking about Jay. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, as we go through the show. But yeah, it was kind of annoying.
But everything else on the show was a complete and utter mess. They have subsequently destroyed any interest with the Undisputed Kingdom over the course of 2 weeks. Because now Roderick Strong is going for the international goddamn champion. There's nobody, not a single person within the Undisputed Kingdom that are going for the AEW World Tags. They're not going for the TNT champion. They're not going for the world goddamn champion.
I mean, who is the most credible person right now to even go for the world champion in this company? That's why they need to bring back the ranking system, which they are.
Thank Christ, because they needed to a long time ago.
Right.
But yes, this was a very interesting Dynamite. It wasn't the worst, but it was an interesting Dynamite. People saying that Dustin Rhodes can still go are clearly absolutely delusional. I put up the wrong one because I put on Power. There was no Power, by the way.
There was not.
No, it was a recap show. I don't know why, but it was a recap show. I'm going to assume they had the same issues that everybody else did with the Winter Storm.
Yeah, probably.
So they were like, let's just do this for right now and try to get everything together once things start falling off.
Yep.
And finally, I get to talk about TNA.
Yay!
All right, so TNA had to knock this out of the park because this is the first show since I think 2014 that TNA was TNA before they had to move to Impact.
Yeah.
They did an excellent job on this show.
Okay.
Apparently, there have been some big debuts for the last Orlando tapings, so I'm quite pleased about that. They are putting Nick Nemeth not immediately against Moose. They're putting him with Steve Maclin.
Yep, and that promo I heard was excellent.
It was very good. It was a very good promo, I liked it a lot. The main event, Josh Alexander and Will Ospreay, was excellent, but I mean, it's a Will Ospreay, Josh Alexander match. You're going to get nothing but excellence on there. For me personally, their first match was better.
Yeah, well,
so
the sequel's never going to be as good.
Right, exactly. The turn from Frankie Kazarian to Eric Young was very surprising, actually. I was very glad that they did that. And the X Division was a better showcase than the pay-per-view match because Jake Something was in it. So you had a diverse set of body types and wrestling styles. So there you go. And maybe a couple of more big guys in the match would have been better, but at the very least, within what they had, I'm not going to complain too much about it. And finally, SmackDown. SmackDown's last ratings was 2.465 million and a 0.67 demo. So very good on both. The show itself, the only thing that I'm having a moan about is the main event scene. Because they have announced this match. They had all these weeks, and it just feels like they've been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Where it's been RKO, Jimmy eats the loss. RKO, Jimmy eats the loss. And at that point, I'm like, okay, we need to get some new material or something else.
Well, at least the Royal Rumble is next week.
Right, the Royal Rumble's next week, so we can at the very least have that one extra day for something for SmackDown and get it out of the way. But there you go. AJ Styles and LA Knight had a pretty good match, and I want to continuously gush about the women's tag division within WWE because, once again, they put on a good match. This is the fourth consecutive good match within the women's division, the tag division specifically, that I have seen. The title switch to Katana Chance and Kaden Carter was good. Their matches with the previous champions were good. This match with the Unholy Union was good. And then the Kabuki Warriors are right there.
Right.
You are establishing a tag division. Not only that, but a credible tag division where every single match had time to breathe, told a good story. It's just been awesome. So they are saving this tag division, which I never thought they could do.
Right.
So That's great. And finally, Roman Reigns getting an RKO was pretty good, really exercising that. And Kevin Owens and Logan Paul had a great back and forth. Logan Paul, in another life, Logan Paul could have been one of the best wrestlers of this era. 100,000,000%. He has every single tool that you need to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, I would even put him over Kenny Omega as a part of in-ring talent. Like, legitimately, he has it. And Kenny Omega's been...
That's a pretty bold statement you just made there.
I'm sorry. Every single match has been awesome.
That's true.
He knows how to do it. Kenny Omega has one direction. He can't even really necessarily be funny without it being kind of cringy.
Right.
Logan Paul can be humorous and not it be kind of cringy.
Right.
So there's that. That's why I say it. It might be bold, but it's fact. When Tigerhite speaks, it's only facts.
Oh, whatever.
So when we come back, Peanut Gallery, what are we talking about?
Well, we're going to talk about a variety of different things because I'm going to be changing up my segments a little bit more.
Okay.
And we'll see how it works.
All right.